So you want to get chickens. What are some of the things that you absolutely need to have and need to know before bringing these cute little babies home? First thing that you're going to need is a shelter. You need to have a warm space to bring them home. Little baby chicks normally will have a mommy who will help keep them warm. Now, if you're bringing them home from Tractor Supply or ordering them online, something like that, they're not going to have a beautiful feathered mama to keep them warm. So you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need some sort of shelter for them. We like using a metal trough. This was here when we came, or when we bought the house, but I believe this is from Tractor Supply. And we have a heat lamp hooked up over it to keep them warm. Another thing that you're going to get is a feeder. Now, it doesn't have to be one of these. You could just use a bowl or a Tupperware thing, but this is from Tractor Supply, and it can hang when they get older. You're going to need bedding to put in the trough or whatever it is that you use as your brooder. We like to use pine shavings. We also get those at Tractor Supply. The last thing that you absolutely must have before bringing them home is chick starter. You don't want to start them out with layer feed. You want chick starter because it has all the necessary nutrients that they need to grow healthy and strong. Once they start laying eggs, you can switch to the egg layers. Or egg layer crumbles is what I'm trying to say. Now each feed store is going to have their own brand. Or some of them may carry the same brand. I prefer doing the organic because I like to know that my chickens are getting the best quality food. Now, I will say that we do non-organic chicken scratch, which I'm not crazy about. It's a little bit harder to find organic chicken scratch here in our town, but I do prefer to do organic. Also important to plan on where your chickens are going to go once they outgrow your brooder. There are tons of chicken coops out there, but let me just say they are not all created equal, and some of them are going to just fall apart. We bought one from Tractor Supply, and within 6 months, it started deteriorating. So we built our custom coop ourselves, and it has held up great. But you can find some high quality ones on the market. I would definitely make sure that it's a nice sturdy wood, and you want to make sure to have plenty of room for the amount of chickens that you're going to get. Important things to remember when you purchase your chickens: there are two options. You could order what's called a sexed run and either get male or female, or you can get what's called an unsexed or a straight run. That is where you have no idea what they're going to be. But if you're just starting out and you're not ready for roosters, I would definitely suggest getting a sexed run. You also want to remember to only have one rooster per 10 chickens. Otherwise, your chickens can get stressed out by the amount of roosters, and they won't lay as much. I'm looking down at my toes because this girl's about to bite my toes. Don't you do it, Bertha. Don't you do it. Out chickens means less eggs. Just because you have chickens and they're laying eggs, it doesn't make your eggs free. It does mean that you can have them when they're out of stock at the store, which seems like in the last year has happened a lot. But eggs, even if they're laid by your chickens, they're not free. You have to take into consideration the food, shelter, and bedding, and the time that goes into taking care of them. But it's 100% worth it. So to recap, the things that you need before you bring your baby chickens home. Shelter, whether it is a bin or a trough, whatever you can turn into a brooder that keeps them warm and safe, that's what you need. Number 2 would be a heat lamp. This is super important because they don't have a mama with her big old feathers to keep them warm. They need a heat lamp to keep them warm. Number 3 would be bedding. Pine is recommended. Do not use cedar. Chickens and cedar do not mix. It's not good for them. Number 4 would be a waterer. You can get a waterer at your local feed store. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I would suggest going ahead and getting the bigger one, otherwise you're going to refill it a lot. Number 5 would be the feeder. Now, it doesn't have to be a feeder from the feed store. You could use a bowl. It's really not necessary, but you do need something to put their feed in. Number 6 would be the feed itself. Make sure you get chick starter. Cannot be egg layer. Has to be chick starter. I suggest non-medicated and organic. And last but not least would be the permanent shelter for them. Whether you're going to free range your chickens or you're going to have them in a run, they need a large enough coop for them to thrive. and a large enough run if they're not going to be free range. Most chicken keepers are in agreement that each chicken needs at least 2 to 3 square feet per chicken inside the coop itself. If they're going to be in a run, they agree that they need about 8 to 10 square feet inside the run. So you just want to make sure that you have a big enough enclosure for them. The other thing is to remember you only want 1 rooster per 10 chickens, because like I said before, your egg production will go down if they are stressed out. Another thing that is really important is make sure that you check if you are in a neighborhood. A lot of times, if you're allowed to have chickens at all, you're allowed to have hens, but you're not allowed to have roosters. So definitely check with your homeowners association or your city to see if they have any city ordinances that say that you can't have roosters. So that's it, you guys. I hope that was helpful and precise and down to the point of what you need to start your own backyard flock. To only have 1 rooster per